Is a blade that's designed for both framing and demolition any better than a framing blade? After all, a framing blade is a lot less expensive compared to these demolition and framing blades. We got a bunch of different brands to test today, so let's get the testing underway and see which brand is the best. In the first test, we'll see which blade cuts the fastest through clean 2x4s. And then we'll see how the blades hold up after they cut through 30 nails embedded in 2x4s. And then we'll see how the blades perform cutting through some shingles. Finally, we'll see if any of the blades can survive cutting through some deck screws. At a price of only $8, the least expensive blade we'll be testing is this Milwaukee brand. This Milwaukee brand is going to serve as our control. It's just a regular framing blade and not designed for demolition. It advertises precision ground tungsten carbide teeth for fast, smooth cuts. Thin kerf design for clean, fast cuts. All the blades we'll be testing are 7 1/4 inch. Heat expansion slots reduce blade stress for accurate cuts. Made in China. 182 grams. I put together a really simple test rig to test the blades. The saw is on a set of rollers that fits into a track. The saw slides in a perfectly straight line to prevent the blade from binding. The bottom of the saw won't rest on the wood that we're cutting during the test to avoid that becoming a factor that messes with the test results. I'll be using a 5-pound weight and a pulley system to pull the saw through the cut. The saw is aligned precisely with the pulley. To test new blade performance, I'll cut 12-inch pieces of 2x4 lumber. Each blade will make 3 passes beginning with Milwaukee. And the Milwaukee made quick work of it on the first pass at 2.63 seconds. And the Milwaukee was slightly faster in the second pass at 2.47. Very consistent results with the Milwaukee at 2.57 seconds on a third pass. At a price of only $10, the least expensive framing and demolition blade that we'll be testing is made by Hercules and sold at Harbor Freight. Non-stick electroshield coating. Precision laser cut vents for extreme stability. The Hercules brand is professionally made in China for Hercules tools. At 199 grams, the Hercules weighs 17 grams more than the Milwaukee. Hercules was slightly faster than Milwaukee at 2.22 seconds. Once again, 2.22 seconds for the Hercules. So very consistent results at 2.37 seconds on the third pass. At a price of $12 is this Evolution Premium Series framing and demolition blade. Just like the Milwaukee and the Hercules, it has 24 teeth. Even though the Evolution claims to be for demolition, it says not for use on ferrous metals. The Evolution is made in Japan. The Evolution is the heaviest blade yet at 213 grams. Evolution is the fastest yet at 2.17 seconds on the first pass. Once again, 2.17 seconds for the Evolution. Very consistent results at 2.22 seconds on the third pass for the Evolution. At a price of $13 is this Masterforce framing and demolition blade, which is sold at Menards. Ideal for tough cutting applications and wood with nails. It claims to offer 8 times longer life. Laser cut heat expansion slots. Allows blade to expand under heat and stress to prevent warping. Laser cut mock stabilizer vents. Absorbs noise, vibration, and prevents blade wobble for smooth cuts. Premium PTFE coating reduces friction and heat buildup for less drag, gumming, and corrosion. At 183 grams, the Masterforce weighs just 1 gram more than the Milwaukee. Masterforce was the fastest yet at 1.88 seconds. Masterforce was slightly faster in the second pass at 1.66 seconds. It was slightly slower on the third pass at 2.22 seconds. At a price of $14 is this DeWalt brand framing and demolition blade. Ideal for wood with nails. Patented body slot technology for smooth cuts. Laser cut plate and carbide face grind. Premium carbide for long life. The DeWalt brand is made in China. At 185 grams, the DeWalt only weighs 3 grams more than the Milwaukee framing blade. DeWalt performed the same as the Milwaukee at 2.63 seconds on the first pass. DeWalt did slightly better on the second pass at 2.52 seconds. 2.63 seconds on the third pass. So very consistent results. Just like the DeWalt brand, this Diablo brand also costs $14. Demo Demon, ultimate framing and demolition, with new tracking point amped tooth geometry. Diablo brand is made in Italy. At 188 grams, the Diablo weighs just 3 grams more than the DeWalt. Diablo is nearly the same as the DeWalt at 2.68 seconds on the first pass. The Diablo is slightly faster in the second pass at 2.22 seconds. 2.52 seconds on the third pass, so very consistent results for the Diablo. At a price of $15 is this Spyder Tarantula brand. Polymer stabilizing vents. Ultra tough nickel cobalt. Up to 10 times longer lasting than regular blades. It's designed for wood with nails. Interfuse anti-friction coating. Carbide in steel made in Germany, assembled in China. The Spyder Tarantula weighs 194 grams. The Spyder moved into second place at 1.87 seconds on the first pass. It was nearly as fast at 1.87 seconds on the second pass. Very consistent results at 2.02 seconds on the third pass. At a price of $20 is this Bosch Edge Extreme Carbide. The Bosch Edge does not claim to be designed for framing. Fast cut for nail demolition. 14 teeth. Speed coat anti-friction finish. Brute carbide for long life. The Bosch is made in China. The Bosch Edge is by far the heaviest yet at 344 grams. The Bosch has a much thicker kerf and only 14 teeth, which really slowed the blade down. 7.62 seconds on the first pass. The Bosch did slightly better at 7.04 seconds on the second pass. The third pass was the fastest of the three at 6.89 seconds. If you're looking for a really extreme looking blade, check out this Bigblue heavy duty demolition blade. At a price of $28, large gullets and never clog, reduces friction to keep blade revolutions high. 3/16 inch kerf, 5 teeth, extra thick steel body will not warp or crack. 5 times longer life, outlasts other framing demolition blades when cutting harsh materials. The Bigblue is quite a bit heavier than average at 260 grams. The Bigblue brand has by far the thickest kerf and only 5 teeth, which really slowed the blade down, 10.14 seconds on the first pass. And Bigblue did slightly better at 8.46 seconds on the second pass. And Bigblue logged its slowest time yet on a third pass at 14.6 seconds. And the most expensive blade that we'll be testing at $32 is made by Amana Tool. Industrial carbide tip nail cutting 14 tooth blade. Made in European Union. Large European style micrograin carbide tips stay sharper longer. Standard kerf size for smooth vibration free cutting. It claims to be designed for wood with nails, but right below that, not recommended for ferrous, non-ferrous, or masonry. The Amana Tools blade is the heaviest yet at 355 grams. Amana Tools is the heaviest of all the blades and has a pretty thick kerf. Considering the blade design, it performed fairly well at 5.16 seconds. The Amana blade was slightly faster in the second pass at 4.7 seconds. It was nearly as fast on the third pass at 4.96 seconds, so very consistent results. Taking the average of 3 tests, the Masterforce is the fastest blade at 1.92 seconds, but Spyder is a close second at 1.95. Evolution third at 2.19, Hercules 2.27, Diablo 2.47, and Milwaukee 2.56. So the 3 blades designed specifically for demolition finished in the last 3 positions. I'm going to add 10 16-penny nails to each one of these 2x4s, and then we'll cut through it with each of the blades to see how they perform. The Milwaukee cut through the board with the 10 nails in 4.86 seconds on the first pass. The Milwaukee made quick and easy work of the nails. The Milwaukee slowed down a little to 5.31 seconds on the second pass. And the Milwaukee really slowed down quite a bit to 9.17 seconds on the third pass. In fairness to the Milwaukee, it's definitely not designed for cutting through nail-embedded wood. With the Milwaukee, 19 out of 24 teeth have damage. The Hercules did great on the first pass at only 3.39 seconds. The Hercules slowed down by nearly a second on the second pass at 4.3 seconds. It lost another half second on the third pass at 4.81. 22 out of 24 teeth on the Hercules have damage. Evolution blasted through the nails in only 3.03 seconds on the first pass. It slowed down slightly on the second pass at 3.69 seconds. It lost over a second on the third pass at 5.16 seconds. With the Evolution, 16 out of 24 teeth have some damage. While the Masterforce was the fastest cutting through the clean wood, it really struggled with the nails, 9.78 seconds on the first pass. The Masterforce did better in the second pass at 6.28 seconds, but the blade seems to be heating up and it slowed down quite a bit midway through the pass. Once again, the Masterforce seems to be overheating midway through the pass, and it needed 7.65 seconds to make the cut. 21 out of 23 teeth on the Masterforce experienced some damage. Most of the damage, though, was pretty minor. The DeWalt is quite a bit slower than the Hercules and the Evolution at 4.3 seconds on the first pass. The DeWalt lost over a second on the second pass at 5.67 seconds. The DeWalt slowed down again by over a second on the third pass, 6.89 seconds. 20 out of 24 teeth on the DeWalt experienced some very minor chipping. The Diablo made the second fastest pass at 3.28 seconds. The Diablo lost just over half a second on the second pass at 3.89 seconds. The Diablo lost just over half a second again on the third pass at 4.96 seconds. The Diablo seemed to hold up really well with 17 out of 24 teeth experiencing very minor damage. The Spyder made pretty good time on the first pass at 3.44 seconds. The Spyder slowed down by half a second on the second pass at 3.95 seconds. The Spyder lost about a second and a half on the third pass, 5.62 seconds. 16 out of 24 teeth on the Spyder brand have minor damage. The Bosch has a much thicker blade and needed 7.18 seconds to cut through the clean wood. The nails slowed it down a little to 9.22 seconds. The Bosch lost over 2 seconds on the second pass and needed 11.81 seconds to finish the job. It really lost a lot of speed on the third pass and needed 15 seconds. The Bosch Edge held up pretty well with very minor damage to 13 out of 14 teeth. Bigblue needed 11 seconds to cut through the clean wood. The nail slowed down Bigblue quite a bit and it needed 19.5 seconds or 8.5 seconds longer to cut through the nails. Bigblue slowed down quite a bit more on the second pass to 22.42 seconds. Unfortunately, the blade causes quite a bit of vibration and the saw blade actually came loose midway through the third pass. After tightening the blade, it finally finished the job in 70 seconds. 4 out of 5 teeth in the Bigblue experienced some damage. Amana Tools needed 5 seconds to cut through the clean wood. The blade needed 7.24 seconds or 2.4 seconds longer to cut through nail embedded wood on the first pass. It slowed down by nearly 3 seconds on the second pass to 10.09 seconds. It took even 5 seconds longer on the third pass, finishing in 15.5 seconds. 9 out of 14 teeth on the Amana experienced some minor damage. After cutting through 3 feet of material and 30 nails, all the blades lost quite a bit of speed, but the Hercules made the fastest third pass at only 4.81 seconds. Diablo was nearly as fast at 4.96 seconds, Evolution 5.16, Spyder 5.62, and DeWalt 6.89 seconds. Now that each blade is cut through 30 nails, let's test them again cutting through 2x4s without nails, beginning with the Milwaukee. Before cutting through the nails, the new Milwaukee cut through the 1-foot 2x4 in only 2.56 seconds. After the wear and tear of 30 nails, it needed over twice as long, or 5.52 seconds. The Hercules was slightly faster than the Milwaukee at 5.42 seconds. The Evolution is over a second faster than the Milwaukee and the Hercules at 4.4 seconds. The Masterforce is pretty quick through the first half of the pass, but slowed down quite a bit as the blade heated up. The blade coating seems to be causing a problem for the Masterforce, 9.17 seconds. The new DeWalt needed 2.59 seconds, and it needed 5.47 seconds to rip through the 12-inch 2x4. The new Diablo blade needed 2.47 seconds, and it's the second fastest blade yet at 4.71. The new Spyder blade was very fast at 1.95 seconds and moves into the lead over the Evolution with a 4.25 second time. The new Bosch Edge cut through the 2x4 in 7.18 seconds and it slowed 39% to 11.71 seconds. The new Bigblue blade needed 11.07 seconds and it only slowed down 15% after cutting through 30 nails. The new Amana blade took 4.94 seconds and it needed nearly twice as long at 9.89 seconds. So after cutting 30 nails, the Spyder is the fastest blade, ripping a foot-long 2x4 at only 4.25 seconds. Evolution was a close second at 4.4, Diablo 4.71, Hercules 5.42, DeWalt 5.47, and Milwaukee 5.52. Sometimes demolition work involves cutting through shingles, so I'll attach 2 layers of shingles on the top of this pallet and we'll make 3 passes through the shingles. After the blade cuts through the shingles, we'll see how the blades perform ripping clean 2x4s. Now that the blades have made 3 passes through the shingles in the pallet, let's see how fast the blade cuts through a clean foot-long 2x4. The shingles really took a toll on the Milwaukee, slowing the blade down from 5.52 seconds after cutting through 30 nails to 10.74 seconds after cutting through the shingles. The Hercules slowed down quite a bit as well, from 5.42 seconds to 8.97 seconds after cutting through the shingles. The shingles really hurt the Evolution, slowing it from 4.4 seconds after cutting through 30 nails to 11.6. The shingle scraped away a lot of the green coating on the Masterforce, and it actually improved its speed from 9.17 seconds to move into the lead with an 8.3 second time. The DeWalt didn't slow down nearly as much as the other brands. The DeWalt went from a 5.47 second time to move into the lead with a 7.81 second finish. The shingles really hurt the Diablo, slowing it from 4.17 seconds after 30 nails to 9.12 after the shingles. The Spyder was the winner of the last round and delivered a pretty strong finish this time at 8.57 seconds to move into third place. After cutting through the shingles, the Bosch needed 24.85 seconds. The shingles really slowed Bigblue from 12.97 seconds before the shingles to 39.57 seconds after. The shingles really slowed the Amana Tool's blade from 9.89 seconds before the shingles to 21.65 seconds after cutting through the shingles. So after cutting through 30 nails and 18 feet of shingles, the DeWalt is the fastest blade at 7.81 seconds. Masterforce came in second at 8.3, Spyder 8.57, Hercules 8.97, and Diablo 9.12 seconds. While shingles and nails cause a lot of wear, deck and drywall screws are a lot harder than nails and can quickly destroy a saw blade. Each blade will cut through just 3 deck screws, and we'll see which blade performs the best, beginning with Milwaukee. And the Milwaukee needed 17.74 seconds to rip the foot-long 2x4 with 3 embedded deck screws. The Hercules was actually slightly faster at 16.07 seconds. Unfortunately, the Evolution overheated when it hit the second deck screw, and it really struggled to finish the job, 71 seconds. The Masterforce slowed down quite a bit after hitting the second deck screw, finishing the cut in 18.61 seconds. The DeWalt made the fastest time yet at 11.05 seconds. The Diablo barely edges out the DeWalt and moves into the lead at 11 seconds. The Spyder really slowed down a lot after hitting the second deck screw, finishing the cut in 16.5 seconds. The Bosch made really slow and steady progress and finished the cut in 41 seconds. Bigblue slugged its way through the deck screws, finishing the job in 54.3 seconds. Just like the Bosch, the Amana Tool's blade made slow and steady progress, finishing the job in 41.6 seconds. So the Diablo came out on top at 11 seconds, but the DeWalt was a close second at 11.05. Hercules third at 16.07 seconds, Spyder 16.5, and Milwaukee 17.64 seconds. Now that we've torture tested the blades cutting through 30 nails, 18 feet of shingles, and 3 deck screws, let's see how they perform ripping through a clean 2x4, beginning with the Milwaukee. And the Milwaukee made the cut in 8.97 seconds, taking nearly 4 times as long as when the blade was new. And the Hercules was nearly 2 seconds faster than the Milwaukee at 7.09 seconds. And the Evolution made the fastest cut yet at 6.08 seconds and moves into the lead. The Masterforce made fairly quick work of the 2x4 at 7.19 seconds, moving into third place behind Hercules. Unfortunately, the DeWalt must have experienced some damage cutting through the deck screws and needed 56 seconds. The blade was dragging so badly that the saw began moving backwards. Unfortunately, the DeWalt's patented body slot technology caused the problem. The body slot is now warped and causing the blade to drag. I actually tested the blade twice just to see if it would perform better, and unfortunately it didn't. It took the Diablo 8.1 seconds to cut through the 2x4, which is 2 seconds slower than the Evolution. The Spyder started off okay, but really began to slow down about 2/3 of the way through the cut, 15 seconds for the Spyder. The Bosch needed 28.3 seconds to finish the job. Bigblue needed 108 seconds to cut through the board. Amana Tools needed 23.03 seconds to cut through the 2x4. So after cutting through 30 nails, 18 feet of shingles, and 3 drywall screws, the Japanese-made Evolution came in on top at 6.08 seconds. Hercules came in second at 7.09, Masterforce 7.19, Diablo 8.1, and Milwaukee 8.97 seconds. Another way to assess blade performance is to compare each blade to itself. Before the Evolution was used to cut nails, shingles, or screws, the Evolution cut through a foot-long 2x4 in 2.19 seconds. After all of the testing, it experienced a 178% increase in the amount of time it took to cut through a clean 2x4. Hercules experienced a 215% increase, Diablo 219, Milwaukee 248, and Masterforce 278. I really like it when the most affordable products turn out being the best. In this case, the Evolution performed extremely well, as did the Hercules. I'd recommend buying either one of those blades. Both are definitely worth the money. I also like the Diablo a lot. It performed extremely well. And finally, the Milwaukee. Even though the Milwaukee doesn't advertise use for demolition, it performed just about as good as most of the blades and actually better than others. All the videos in this channel are viewer suggested. So if you have a video idea, I hope you take time to leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching. Please take care, and I look forward to next time.